need to turn it off on my phone setting to where if an app needs to be updated, I have to approve it versus it's just doing it. So I'm actually stopping through. I was gonna, kind of go into depth about something, but I'm deciding to keep it short and cute. Um, and so either way, I'm learning that age is nothing but a number, and I'm learning that everyone is different. And I'm saying I'm learning because what they say, the more you know, the less you actually know. The more you think you know, the less you actually do. And so I just kind of want to say something. And of course, this is a private matter. And of course, I never say names and stuff. But I do feel like people be going through experiences. And of course, as a advisor, I like to share with you common situations that I'm aware of to kind of, make you think, right?
Time.
And then, of course, if I just came here and I just spoke about certain things or certain topics and without giving like contrast or without telling you exactly, detail of certain stories, you would feel like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. You would just feel like, is this a skit or something? And so I like to tell real life, situations. And so, of course, you know, I tell y'all, I've been like really assessing people. And I've decided for the month of May that I'm really going to focus on my passions in the bag. Anything outside of that, I'm just not going to be focusing on. If I have availability, I will, make that time to deal with it. But outside of that, I'm just going to keep it pushing. I think that for me, a lot of things are just emotionally and mentally draining. And it's kind of like, I kind of see what parents, go through when parents, know things and their child is doing things, maybe some of the things that they've done. They made mistakes. And so the parents are like, hey, get this together and blah, blah, blah. And it just becomes so enraged, right? And I had a cousin who did some foolish shit, which of course I didn't know, but I guess she had a blackout moment where she did some things to her, her children, and got them taken away. And of course, as she, got older, she healed, and people were sharing the story like, one of the children did what she did before, and she just went crazy on all her kids, right? And so I'm sitting here, you guys, and I know people that are older than me and younger than me. More of them are older than I am, or the same age. And if they're younger than I am, they appear to be a little more mature than the average, like, 25-year-old. Kind of like I was, right? So I sat back and I sit back and I reevaluate energy. And typically, when I tell family and friends like I'm keeping my distance, they kind of get an idea of what it is that I'm doing. And it's because, I do provide services to people. I do deal with the general public a lot. And then, of course, I have like my personal circle people I deal with. And then, of course, some family members. So when I'm stepping back, I'm still reaching out to certain people. Maybe it'll be through text message, maybe it'll be through conversations, right? Just to test the waters, to test the energy to see. So it's not coming from this person. Like I said, this is if I feel like energy is off. Like maybe I'm getting into a debate with people for no reason. I'm getting into, arguments for no reason. And that's when I say, let me step back. Because maybe it's me, right? I assume it's me first. And so I will do that. And so, long story short, I've noticed around certain cycles of energy, and I told y'all these stories before when I say A, B, and C. I notice around certain cycles and certain experiences that people I know have, because, of course, when you are dealing with people for years and even months, and you spend time together, you even live together, your energies kind of alchemate, right? So you kind of know the ins and outs of these people and their energy. And then if you throw like friendship on top of that, or even like intimacy, like you really know when something is off because the energy, you're like, this energy don't feel the same. And so you assess people in how they act, and you know how they act that something is going on. You're like, either someone new is in a picture, or someone that they're dealing with is like giving them energy or putting words in their ears, and it's making them kind of question our connection. That's just what you be thinking about. Or it just be them not really thinking about friendship, not really caring about friendship. They either, dick hungry or whatever the case that may be, right? Because that also could be the same thing when it comes to particularly friendships. And so I'm always, assessing people's energy. Because with me, when I find new people or I get rid of people, my energy stays the same. Because I'm always authentically me. Like if I'm in a bad mood, you're going to know I'm in a bad mood. If I'm in a good mood, you're gonna know I'm in a good mood. And if I'm really, really in a bad mood, and maybe you put me in a bad mood, I keep my distance from you until I feel like I'm in a safe space to tell you how I felt. Because of course, I don't want to start reading you down, because I assume you were reading me down, and that's what put me in that energy of not wanting to fuck with you in the first place. You know what I mean? And so that's just how I am. I know that everyone else is not like that. So, I've become very aware of that everyone else, if something is going on, they do not say, I need my space. They will not say, let me stay in my own lane. They will still try to, engage with you and try to be around you. And I know energy. So when I feel like your energy is not on my level, in a sense of if I'm in a really good mood and you're not in a really good mood, I have to cut the interaction short because I do feel like energy feeds energy. And of course, that is just called influences, right? This is spiritual influences, things that you watch, things that you listen to, and people that you are around, they influence you, right? One way or another. Don't get that twisted, right? If you're a good girl and you hang around with bad girls, you will eventually become that bad girl. Okay, so don't think, oh well, it's okay for me to not be a crackhead, but I can hang out with crackheads. No, baby, that's not it. I feel like sometimes God do put people in your lives for you to learn a lesson about certain people, and vice versa, for you to teach them something. But that whole personal stuff, interpersonal stuff, where during you're being intimate with them, meaning that you're giving them a rundown on your personal business, your money making moves and all this stuff, or maybe you're telling them your sex life, like those are intimate conversations, right? Because intimacy is not always sexual. Intimacy is, I'm gonna sit here with you and I'm gonna tell you my personal business. I'm gonna tell you, my private matters. You're not gonna see just the public me. That's intimacy. And so um people, regardless of the age, and I feel like it's a captive save a hole type of experience. And I feel like it comes from childhood trauma. I feel like people who feel like they are neglected or they have abandonment issues in one way, shape, or form, I feel like they grow up to be adults that feel like they have to save everybody. So they feel like they have to, I have to be the good friend. I have to be the friend that provides. I have to be the friend that gives. And it's like, you're going to be buying your friendships, you're going to be buying your interactions, and when that well runs dry, meaning that it's not being reciprocated, meaning that you're not getting nothing out of it, you're going to start questioning these interactions and relationships. And that's another reason why I always tell people, don't come to me for nothing. I can show you how to get it, but don't think because I have 20 pieces of bread, that I don't have plans for my 20 pieces of bread already. Because, there's one thing about me, two things for sure. If I'm getting all this bread, there's a reason for it. So I will show you, I will throw out ideas. Hey, maybe you should this and that to get the money. But like I said, I don't want to, give you something. And then that's in your mind, that's the first thing you're going to keep doing. It's like, oh, I can come to her for help. And every time I need help. And so pushing forward, I have friends that like have new experiences. I've never seen them differently, and they have new experiences. They meet new people, and of course, you see their energy, and you're like, oh, okay, like these people make them happier, or hey, I noticed this person, felt good during this time period, and then you find out during this time period that they were dating someone, or during this time period they did befriend someone new, and you're like, hey, kudos to that. So that way you're not driving me crazy. But, because there's always a but to, and additional to, okay? What ended up happening in that process, I've learned that when people are looking for friendships and connections to receive some type of validation and or some type of sense of knowing, of self-knowing, self-acknowledgement, I feel like when that relationship gets a little tumultuous and or it becomes challenging, because everything in life is a challenge. That's what makes you grow. That's what allows you to learn. You can only learn through challenges. They feel like their life has ended. They feel like, what would I do without this? What would I do without these people? Whatever the case may be, they will start to feel something, and I call that detachment. Because of course, when you meet people, you already have kind of plans with them. You kind of have an idea about what you're expecting from them as a friend, as a lover, as a friends of benefit, whatever, however. And when they don't show up the way that you expected them to show up, a lot of times it's because you're not showing up the way that you should be showing up, or the way you're expecting them to show up, you're not doing the same thing. You're not meeting them in that same energy. And or you know for a fact that these people represent the old energy and you still want to be around that energy. And what I mean by that is maybe in your older self, the old version of you, we could say 10 years ago, we could say even 7 years ago, because you're not the same person every 7 years, right? Your whole body becomes a rejuvenated system in 7 years. What ended up happening is you may be in a dark area. Maybe, you're having marital problems. Maybe you and your marital partner is going through financial issues. Maybe you guys are going through, you're battling, I don't know, maybe you're about to lose your house, whatever the case may be. You will bring people into your life that will either help you to get through those challenging times or they will distract you. And then so you settle for people. Like goddamn well that you're not a low life, you're educated, you know that you are mature, you know that you are worthy of a good life, and you believe that you're worthy of a good life. But for some reason, in this little moment, you're like, well, I want to be human, and I want to deal with bummy ass people. And I feel like too, if this happens over and over again, that this is just a character uh trait. This is nothing to do with you just whatever, thinking that you want to be human and stuff. Because I've seen this in people many, many years, many, many times. So I'm like, damn, like I'm seeing these people be successful, have their shit together, and then they befriend people who don't have their shit together. And then they want to like be Captain Save a Hoe with these friends, like, but why though? Like what is the need for you to make it seem like you have all your shit together? And of course, that's trauma. And so pushing forward, because I don't want to draw this out. I think that when people have been to a new place, let's say you relocated, they say you got a divorce. Let's say you lost something major. Maybe you lost a lot of money. Who knows? Because, grievance is grievance. I feel like we that the when we're in this state, or we're in this state of loss and we're not properly healing ourselves, and instead of properly healing ourselves, we jump into friendships, we jump into relationships, we jump into connections, situationships. I think that we become desperate. And people who have known us for a long time will sometimes try to advocate and say, hey, this is not it, babe. This is not it. And for some reason, maybe we're thinking they're hating. Maybe we're thinking that they want our life. I'm not that type of friend, honey. Honestly, truly, unless I know you're just a hating ass person, or you're a friend that's very jealous or insecure, because I do have people I've connected to like that in the past. But for the most part, I would never think that any of my friends are jealous or want what I got. If they see me in a relationship or a situation and they're like, hey, this is not working out, or hey, something is funny with this. And so pushing forward, Desperation brings nothing but more desperate situations. And not even that, I feel like when you decide to backtrack, especially if you are a praying person, you are spiritually, um, you are a spiritual person, because I want people to understand that when you start praying and you start meditating, you start lighting candles and stuff, your energy shifts. There's a process that you go through, which is called a great awakening. And the same thing you did before you lit those candles, you cannot do and you will not do after those candles are lit. You do not go back to the old ways. And it's why a lot of magical books, including the Bible, speaks about magic being forbidden, because a lot of people are not ready for that type of shift. And even going into the idea of people asking God for change. And God, bring me a new house, a new car, a new job. But they don't understand that this new house, this new job, this new car requires new energy. It requires new responsibility. And if you were not happy or content or able to manage the old shit, when the new shit come about, you're not going to be able to also manage it. And so God will tease you or test you before you get this new. And he would say, you know, or they would say, or she would say, whatever you believe in, that they said they want this new experience. But let me throw something in the way. Let me throw a curveball. Let me throw a lemon. And let's see how well they manage this lemon. And a good example would be if you come from a healed relationship and just so happened that relationship ended because maybe you guys agreed that you guys have outgrown your situation. So that has happened. People think that people that got married at 20 years old, a lot of them should stay married to be in their 50s and 60s and 70s. That's not true. That's an enslavement mentality because you outgrow relationships. Not all the time, but I'm saying there are times where you outgrow relationships, and divorcing is definitely okay. But of course, we're taught traditionally, because that is something that we're put on, especially in America, that you have to get married, you got to buy a house, you got to get have children, not in that order, but we have to do these things, right? And so going back into this whole thing, we get so distracted with or we're in this energy of having this relationship that ended, and maybe even going into, God forbid, you became a widow or a widower, you became a male who lost his wife or husband, or you became a female that lost her wife or her husband. Now you're asking God in your healing process, because healing is going to be lifetime. And I think that's another thing too. People say, I think I'm healed, or I've healed, no, healing is a lifetime, because something is going to happen in life that's going to reopen up those wounds. And depending on your healing process, when those wounds are reopened, you're either going to spiral back down into where you were at before when you first started your healing journey, or you're going to say, I'm so thankful and grateful for that experience or that opportunity, of that moment in time. And so either way, we will then, in this healing process, while we're asking God to bring us this new mate or this new relationship, God, because people think that this is the devil, and it's not the devil. Come on in here. It's not the devil. Okay, and this is going to be a little sub thing too, okay, because I want you to understand it's that the Bible says that God is responsible for good and evil, because right now the devil's locked up. Hello, right now the devil is locked up, and I don't know what type of teaching, I don't know what type of teaching you've been paying attention to, but the devil's locked up until the end of days, baby, when he will be unlocked by the angels. Hello, the chains will be broken temporarily. Hello, can we talk about it? And so either way, we will ask God for a new relationship, a new friendship, to help us create new memories. And God will throw a lemon. And in this lemon, it may be a same situation as you. It may be a good example, maybe a submissive, effeminate male with a dominant masculine male, just how your relationship was, right? You were married to this man for so many years. He passed away. He was the dominating, masculine one. And of course, you're the submissive, kind of like you're dominating, but you're submissive. And so you meet a relationship that's just like that. And so, of course, you get introduced to this relationship as maybe like we're separated, or maybe we're not, we're together, but we're not together. Like I said, this is the lemon situation because, of course, in your healed mind, you're like, listen, when I was married, or I was in my situation and my husband or I wanted to split up or we wanted to separate, would I condone my husband having side friendships with people that they could potentially fuck on? Like, these are questions that you would ask yourself, right? Like, and so even like that, like going into the situation, you're like a third wheel. Because of course you're single, you're trying to start a new relationship because you're asking God to bring you also a single woman so you can also build a new relationship with. But just so happen mid-term, mid-tier, somebody who's in a fucked up ass relationship and don't want to be responsible and accountable for their part in this relationship, they want to befriend you and they almost want to like lure you in as if like I really like you. I think you're really cool. But in reality, you're a distraction to their fucked up situation. And then so little things started coming up for you because spirit started revealing things to you because you are spiritual, you are in high, you know, you're heightened and you're asking God to bring you this new partner, this new energy. And so the spirit has to speak back to you in your experiences that you are on the right path. And when I say right path, meaning that you are actually connecting to something spiritual here. Because like I said, magic is nor good or evil. It's all about the practitioner and how they view the experiences. And so you're noticing little things, but you're like, no, I just think that, you know, that's how friendships are, and I'm supposed to just deal with that. But the outside energies is like, no, this is giving cake and eat it too. This is giving teasing. This is giving somebody not wanting to be responsible for their situationship and they want to bring you in as a distraction, which is ultimately blocking you from getting to where you need to get to. And of course, this is what your outside sources is telling you, but you're just like, whatever. And so, either way, going into that, and it pulls me into this whole conversation because I know a lot of y'all, you hit me up for love, relationship, love issues, relationship issues, and then of course protection. The other stuff, financially, healing, you know, that's those are rare phenomenons, or those are people that will already do the healing and all that stuff, or protection, love work, and then I say, oh, also I want to get my money up or whatever. But my two major things are protection and people trying to heal their relationships, right? With themselves, with their parents, with their children, or with their partner or the person who they want to be with. And so going into that, I know someone who's in that situation. And I, you know, saw the experience, I saw the energy. And like I said, of course, you know, this person might feel some type of way about this, but this is why I will say, and I'll continue to say, honey, business and personal is very separate. On a personal level, if there's a conversation being had, of course, people would know who I'm talking about. People know the names, etc., etc. So, of course, I would never bring that up. I think when it comes to business and it comes to people, because I think this is a good story to share with my followers and my viewers to understand just how energy work and kind of like the do's and the don'ts. And so, going into that, they were doing the workings and they would just like when they did these workings that certain energies would show up, and of course it's people that were either in the need of that energy or, you know, spirit is telling them to, hey, you know, ignore that, you know, focus on your stuff, and they didn't listen. And so I would notice that, or they didn't care about that, and then I would notice like around certain cycles, certain things would happen. And I think like some of the times, like I was also having experiences where I was like, wait a minute, like what's really going on here? Like it's so weird that I know this person would hang out with these people, and then all of a sudden I'm feeling stuff, right? Like, or they wouldn't tell me they hung out. I would start feeling something in our interactions. I'm like, ooh, their energy is a little off. Let me keep my distance. And then they'll bring up, you know, hey, I hung out, or hey, I seen this person. And like I always tell y'all, girl, as a friend, as an advisor, If you choose not to listen to the advice that's given to you, respectfully, because I value our connection in our relationship, I will either cut you off completely or I will keep my distance from you. And of course, that depends on how long we've known each other and what work have been put into our relationship, right? Because of course, I just don't say bye. You don't want to listen, take care. But I do pay attention. And so, like I said, to respect our relationship, so I'm not also being in your energy, right? Because like I said, I don't match energy. I set temperature. And if I feel like your temperature is a little too hot for me, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna adjust that thermostat. Or if I feel like it's a little too cold for me, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna adjust that thermostat. Okay. And so either way, I've noticed things, and even other people notice things like, hey, this is kind of weird. And it was kind of like giving like some situation, right? And like I said, I'm not gonna get into that because it's not even about all that. But something happened, and I was ready to assist the situation because, of course, I'm a friend. I'm a sister. I was ready to assist. And before I was willing to even offer, I get put on hold. And of course, I kid y'all not. Ooh, woo, woo, come on, spirit. I kid y'all not. When I got put on hold, I heard something say, shut your mouth. And I was in that moment. Because I was like, it could have been the radio, it could have been a car driving by me. I mean, who knows? I don't say go into saying spirit automatically. I was like, it could have been something I had on low. I had the radio on low. My windows was rolled down. It could have been somebody in the car saying, shut your mouth, yelling at a kid. I don't know. I was kind of zoned out. And so they get back on the phone and they tell me that they were going to be getting help from another person. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. Right? I'm thinking like, oh my God, girl, out of all the situations, that's the first thing you jump to. So I was like, whatever, I'm on my business, girl. That's not my concern. It is what it is. God bless, God endure, God be, whatever. And so I mind my business. I let everything go, honey. I just, I mind my business. After that, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours later, I reconnect with this person. Like everything is good, and I found some new things out about, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like I was in that good energy, like, oh, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. And then they were like, and I told them that I would, treat them out. And so I'm thinking when they said this, like, honey, why not just say here's gas money and keep it pushing? But I was like, that's not my business. I don't know. I feel like maybe certain people have relationships with others that I'm not aware of and I don't really care to know about. That's not my business. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. My friendship with people and people's friendship with other people, that's their concern. But what I won't do, and that's why I'm moving into, the month of May and beyond on this energy that I'm going to be in, I'm going to finalize it and cap it off. And of course, like I said, this is to encourage y'all on the same thing to do what y'all need to do as well when it comes to energies and dealing with people who don't really understand boundaries, and you have to place down boundaries. You have to place down boundaries. Boundaries are healthy situations, especially when it comes to keeping relationships and friendships strong. A lot of people, we have a high divorce rate in America. We have a lot of single, unmarried people because they don't know how to establish boundaries or they don't know how to respect boundaries. And so either way, they was gonna plan this dinner. Now, y'all, this was a couple of days, right? And I think the day before, she told me, hey, I asked her, if she wants to go out to dinner, or do they want to do the lunch thing? And it's her off day on this day too. So apparently she knew this person had an off day. And so the person said, I'll let you know. And so I took that as, girl, this person don't want to hang out with you. And I haven't said that out my mouth. Like, yeah, they don't really want to see you, babe. Because as a friend, as somebody who will help someone, if somebody say, hey, I want to take you out to lunch and that's an off day, bitch, I got nothing else planned. Especially you're my friend and you're saying that you're going to give me something for assisting you. I'm thankful and grateful for that opportunity. Or I'm going to tell you right then and there, I'm grateful and thankful for the idea that you're wanting to give me something for helping you, but no thank you. Like I'm glad I was able to help or whatever. Or hey, let's do a rain check or whatever the case may be. But I'm gonna let you know tomorrow. They didn't really want to fuck with you, babe. And so I said that out my mouth, like they don't, yeah, it's given that they don't really want to meet with you. But of course, she kept insisting, no, I know how to do. I was like, okay, it's not my business, girl. You want to get slapped in the face, girl, you get slapped in the face. That's your business, not mine. Like I said, I'm learning to mind my own business. Say my piece and keep it pushing. And if I get annoyed by something that you keep saying, it's redundant and it doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to end the conversation, end the call, leave the room, whatever the case may be, because that becomes emotionally and mentally draining, right? When you know, you're like, girl, how do you not see what I'm seeing? Like, how are you not seeing this? And so either way, they meet up, y'all, and everything was good, right? Day went by. But I noticed that after they hung out, the energy was a little off. And of course, she was saying that she got insight on the dynamics of that situationship. And I was like, okay, maybe that's what it was. But something was still like, something is off. And so I don't know what happened, but I think the phone ended up dying. And then I ended up getting a text from her saying that she's going to be keeping her distance, or she's going to be laying low, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, you know what? Hey, like something must be going down for her to say that. And I was thinking right then in that moment too, like, wait a minute, like something must have went down with those people, because I'm like, every time she hangs out with these people, something goes on to where if she hang out with them, I don't want to hang out with her, or if she talk to them, I don't want to talk to her, or you know what I mean, like the days I know she's about to go hang out or do things, I will like not talk to her that day, because I don't want that energy, because I feel like they get her in a certain energy. And like I said, sometimes they come across good, but a lot of times it comes across like, I don't like this. I don't like this new energy, honey. Like it's almost like a fake energy. Like I don't want to be around that baby. Fast forwarding, y'all. We had a conversation yesterday, and of course, you know, she didn't want to tell me what had happened. And that's another thing too. I respect people's emotional boundaries. For me, honey, I'm not ashamed of anything. I don't care what has happened. If I feel like I need to tell you, especially I want to tell you. So, girl, like I'm not gonna be ashamed or nervous to tell you this, because I don't give a fuck about you judging me. I don't give a fuck about you saying that I was stupid. I don't give a fuck about you saying that I wasn't this or that. Because I decided as a grown ass woman to do something. And that's what I be thinking too, as you, for you grown ass men and women. Stand on your shit. Who gives a fuck what people think about you? Who gives a fuck if people think you're dumb or you're stupid? Who cares? Like, do y'all not utilize the mirrors? Do y'all not utilize your alone time? Do y'all not do affirmations? Do you not build yourself up? Who gives a fuck? Who cares if your wigs are dry? Who gives a fuck if you're a silly bitch in love? Who cares? And that's what I love. I love people who don't give a fuck, because I don't give a fuck. I love people who don't give a fuck. It kind of rubs me the wrong way when people be trying to act like they bosses and they dominant and they the shit, but they're like, I don't want to tell them that because they might try to embarrass me. How would how would you embarrass me, bitch? Because I know who I am. What can you do or say that will make me feel embarrassed? What can you do or say that will make me feel anything outside of what I feel like? Because you don't have control over my emotion. You don't have control over my actions or what I choose to do as a grown ass woman that nobody pay my bills. So I would think that everybody moves in that energy, but I'm learning everyone doesn't. And so either way, she tells me not in detail what happened, which of course I don't expect her to, but she said that she got home and she was doing candle work when she met with these people and the candles were burning. And of course, I'm like, I don't do meetups with people when I'm doing energy work. And this is a main reason why, because I don't know what type of energy you got on you. And it's not you necessarily, but sometimes it's what's in you. See, we wrestle with spirits, principalities, and dominions and powers. We don't wrestle with flesh and blood. So, flesh and blood, you might be this good, nice person. You might be the sweet person. You might be like, I love you. I will never do anything to harm you. But in the inside, you might be a destructive ass spirit. You might be an energy source that wants to monitor what the fuck I'm doing and do everything in your power to not only self sabotage yourself, but also try to motherfucking sabotage me. And so this is why I keep my magical stuff to my motherfucking self. And when I'm doing certain workings, I don't hang out with people. And so she's hanging out with these people, and literally she comes home and the candle is at the bottom and she's smelling the candle, and the candle just explodes and the glass shoots out and it cuts her. And of course, in this moment, because I care about this person, I've been on this person for a very long time. I care about this person. Of course, I'm concerned about, are they okay? I'm concerned about, you need to stop fucking with these people, because I've been saying it for at least the past fucking 6 months and I'm sick of it. Since November, December, January, March, April, May, 5 months. Respectfully. I'm emotionally drained. I'm energetically drained. I'm spiritually drained. I don't want to babysit no more. Mystic Persia, Madam Merkaba, Azalea, Tasmaya, Fallon Ferrari, Sister, Big Mama, Busty Bitch. Like, I don't want to babysit anymore. I don't want to babysit. I don't want to control. I don't want to want things for people more than they want it for their goddamn motherfucking selves. And I also don't give a fuck about how much candles you burn, how much baths you done, how many scriptures you clogged your menses with, how much fasting you done, what you detached from. I don't care about that no more, because it's all games, it's all for fun, it's all for show. And when spirits show up and show out, now people are feeling some type of way. This is all spirit. If you're not going to listen to spirit through other people, and you're not going to sit back and look at your own interactions with people and say that maybe this is not the person I should be befriending, but then you're thinking about, but they're nice people. Yeah, Ted Bundy was nice. Jeffrey Dahmer was nice. And that's like you telling people, if you're going to be praying to spirits respectfully and you're going to be doing energetic work, ask these spirits for knowledge and wisdom. Ask these spirits for knowing. Ask these spirits for understanding. Not, I know what I want and I'm going to do what I want to do. They said a joke that when, tell God your plan if you want him to laugh. I believe that statement, because willingly and truthfully, yes, you are in control of your destiny, but you got to also ask God for knowledge or spirits for knowledge, because this is a new territory that you're walking into, babe. This is a new type of energy that you're walking into. You've never been a single woman. You've never been a single man. You've never been a person that got into a third world situation. You've never been somebody who got this new job. You've never been somebody who owned their own business. And so you're going to ask God for knowledge and wisdom and whatever other traits you need to get through the challenges that are going to come up while you find this energy. And so even in this experience, they were kind of like pacifying it, y'all. And it was really pissing me off. They were kind of pacifying. Yeah, but that's why I don't do personal meetings no more. It just is always in a group setting. I don't give a fuck if it was in a setting where y'all both went to the police station together. I don't give a fuck. You said, baby, I want to hang out with this lady only when we go to the police station, or we go to the doctors, or we go to a public picnic. Their energy is not your energy. They are not no gods or goddesses. They're peasants. And I need you to wake the fuck up, because you're going to keep having the exact same experiences until you realize that, baby, some people are meant to be in your life for seasons, not forever. And of course, you cannot tell people that, because they want to do what they want to do. And like I said, that's your business, respectfully. And that's why I'm putting up my boundaries. I'm putting up my wall. And it's not to keep you out, but it's to keep me motherfucking safe from going the fuck off. Because at this point, I'm ready to grab your motherfucking phones and your motherfucking social media platform and block them for you. Or reach out to them my goddamn self and say, leave my motherfucking friend alone. Losers. Bummy ass losers. Leave them alone. And if you don't leave them alone, girl, I'll show you, bitch. Hello? That's what I'm about ready to do. But to prevent those things from happening, because of course we know what's going to happen when that gets started and stirred up, I'm just going to mind my business. I'm just going to stay in my own lane. I'm just going to, for the month of May and beyond, not give a fuck about what people got going on. Collectively, respectfully, as a friend, as a sister, as a confidant. I only want to know about you and your matters and what is helping you feel good about yourself. I want to make sure you're good mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and what you want to be okay with. If you don't want to be okay with certain situations, certain people, honey, that is your business. I'm not even gonna think about it. And that's the prayer that I'm asking for on this full moon. God, give me the energy and the patience to oversee stupid shit that people I love and care about do. Hello, because that's a challenge for me. When I see people that I love and care about do stupid ass shit, and especially like I said, it's not kids, these are grown ass people, it really just make me like spiral. Like, should I be even fucking with these people? Cause there's no way like we haven't learned in our relationships, in our friendships, how to read people, how to read the room, and also communicate. Like we have to tell people what we expect from them, and we have to listen to what they expect from us. Oh, I don't care what you got going on. I just want to be your friend. That's a red flag. And then when you do tell them that you're doing good or you're being successful or you're trying to better your life, they throw little things out like, oh, you think you're better than me. Or, oh, hey, you, and it's like, girl, these are all red flags to you. Like, these are not your people. Find your tribe. And like I said, it's a very sad thing that we, the people, we're afraid of being alone. We're afraid of not having anyone. We're afraid of not, and it's like, but aren't you magical? Aren't you spiritual? Don't you believe in magic? Like, I'm confused here. Don't you believe that God and your spirits are providers? Hello? That they're conquerors? So, in that same breath, why are you concerned about being alone? Why are you concerned about not having anybody? Because it usually happens when you're not expecting it. Use this time to heal yourself. Use this time to build yourself up. Use this time to become stronger in yourself to where you know that you don't need people to compliment you, validate you, or tell you who the fuck you are because you should know it. And let me tell you something that's even more crazy. They said that the average person, death is between 65 and 72. The closer you get to that time, you really should not give a fuck about about how other people view you or how you want to live your fucking life. But also on the flip side to that, don't expect everybody to be on the same page as you. On the same line, in the same breath and same energy, don't expect everybody to also see things the way you see it. And I'm okay with that too. I know I've made decisions. I know I'm making decisions that family and friends don't really um care for or trust, but I don't give a fuck, bitch. All my years on this planet, whenever I ever said I need, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, bitch, I know how to make a way out of nowhere. I know how to stretch a dollar into 1,000. Hello, hello. So I never came across weak or needy to anybody. And that's just my personality because of course being in my situations and stuff, I've always appeared like that. I've always been considered the weakling. I've always been considered the weak one. Okay? And so I had to do some inner work to show people that baby, I'm not the one. I'm not the one. Don't take my quietness and my distancing myself from you, distancing myself from you, bitch, y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say, girl. Distancing myself from you, that I am not motherfucking on your team, because you know I'm on a roll right now, bitch. Who gives a fuck? Bitch, you know goddamn well, baby, that me keeping my distance from you and me not really want to be around you, me not talking much, don't take that as a weakness. Because you know, bitch, I can say a lot, I can do a lot that will make a grown man motherfucking cry. And that's why I don't do that. Because, babe, one thing about me, two things for sure, bitch. Spiritually, physically, and motherfucking mentally, I'm that one. Okay? And so, baby, I stay over here to protect my motherfucking self, girl. So why? So I don't go to motherfucking jail. To why? So where I don't make mistakes and say, damn, I regret that I did that. Because I hear a lot of people say that, like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. I should have said that. See, this is why I think before I react. This is why I keep my distance and I, decide what I want to do after that. This is why I do that, babe. You know, this is why I do that, honey. You know, and so respectfully, y'all, you can only be, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. And of course, like I said, even a video I did a week ago, we're getting into a new energy, a new era. Y'all, 2026 is almost over. We got what? We got 7 months left of 2026. So 5 months are already gone. Like, what exactly are you going to be doing, for the rest of this year? Because time is going by. And are you still doing the same things? Are you saying I've been doing energy work, I've been praying, I've been meditating, I've been fasting, but you're doing the exact same shit? Or are you dealing with people that are not on your frequency? Because for me, as a spiritual person, I want other spiritual conscious friends. So, bitch, if you're not talking about your cleansing work, you're not talking about you meditating, you fasting, and all that, girl, I don't want to befriend you, honey. I don't want to befriend you, honey, respectfully, honey. We live in a very, very dark, cold world. Okay, cold world, baby. You hear me? Girl. If you're not on that type of energy, girl, bye bye. And even in the sense of too, like these people going back into that situation just a little bit. Initially, this person was not telling the whole truth. Initially, not even initially, they found out that this whole situation, the person was saying that it was the other person, their partner, but it was actually them. So I'm like, girl, that is betrayal. That is deception. That is lies. No real relationship are built off that. You could not say that you're my friend and you're lying to me. You cannot say you're my friend and you betrayed me. That does not work. Okay? That does not work. You have the opportunity to be honest with me, direct with me, and open with me, and you chose not to. And so, like I said, respectfully, honey, I don't care if people do anymore, honey. You reach out to me for services, and you paid me to care about what you do. I'm going to be concerned. I'm going to make it my business because you paid me for it. Hello! For family and friends, they're grown as fuck. They do what they want to do. They do too much stupid shit. I'll just keep my distance. And they continue to do stupid shit. It'll be a permanent distance. Respectfully, honey. And that's just what I'm going to do because, baby, you're not taking me down with you. Okay, listen. I love dealing with people who are, normal cycle people. We have, they have normal cycles, meaning that they have their ups and their downs. And when they have their downs, they know, okay, this is my down period. This is my dry season. Let me go ahead and keep my mind focused. Or, hey, I'm feeling good. Let me do, whatever. Versus, I gotta be with everybody. I gotta connect with everybody. I gotta be this friend. I gotta be, oh no, they need me. Or I'm gonna help them. And it's like, girl. And mind you, girl, the people that we're talking about, y'all, is 55 plus. This is not a 20-something-year-old. This is not a 30-something-year-old. This is a 55 plus person that act like she's a dumb, full of cum lesbian. And I'm not talking about my friend. I'm talking about this person that got her in this loop. That's what I'm talking about. Girl, at 60 something years old, 59 years old, you have not made up your mind yet, girl. I need you to go ahead and stay over there, honey, because when I get to be your age, I don't want to be like that. So I'm learning by example. And if you're already that age and I'm younger than you, that's what I have to look up to. So it's like, no, honey, at 59, girl, I don't want to be a miserable ass bitch that don't know what they want to do with their life at almost 60. So you've been living 59 years on this planet, and instead of you getting a healing on your shit, you just been living, just existing. Like, hell no. Respectfully, hell no. And that's something too, girl. This lady told my friend about crystals and shit. So it's like, so you have the knowledge, but you're not utilizing it? So respectfully, like I said, the month the man be on, honey, please don't call my phone privately. Please don't text me privately about some foo-foo shit. Because I don't give a fuck. And I might just have to come out and say it. I don't care. You got a dinner date with the stupid bitch? I don't care. You want to see the stupid fucker again, the bastard? I don't care. You want him to hurt you again? That's your business. I don't give a fuck. But I noticed too, I'm gonna evaluate your energy before we're supposed to hang out or deal with each other. And I feel like the energy is off. It's not gonna happen. Baby, you're gonna get a text or call and say, baby, unfortunately, I don't feel like hanging out. Because the energy is a little off. And I don't need to be on the phone with you to feel your energy. Baby, as a friend, as a sister, baby, I can sit here right now and say, what is my friends feeling right now? Are my friends feeling good enough for me to reach out? Should I hang out with my friends today? That's all I gotta do. I don't have to say, well, let me, sometimes I'll be a little bit like, if I got a lot going on, let me pick up the phone, let me call, let me check in. But I don't have to physically see you to know your energy. Okay. And so that's where it's at for me. And like I said, I encourage that for y'all. You know, as the sister, as the daughter, as the mother, sometimes you gotta let your grown ass siblings, friends, mothers, daughters, sons, whatever, make their own motherfucking decisions and pay for it. It's a sad situation because at the end of the day, they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. Some people don't have children existing right now because of stupid ass decisions that their child made. And it's unfortunate, but it's true. So it's like we have to protect our sanity and our mental health. We gotta say, baby, that is not my life, honey. And I'm so thankful, spirit, that that is not my life. I'm so thankful I'm not a grown ass bitch that need people around me to make me feel any type of way about myself. I'm so thankful, so grateful that as a person of anything, I don't need other people like that to be around me. When, honey, I can get out and I can meet it. Okay, because I believe in the power of spirit. Like I said, a lot of people be like, I've been praying. I grew up in a family of prayer and all that. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I still think there's some doubt there. And clearly there's some doubt there. You're not really tapped in because, baby, I believe in the universe being a provider. I believe in that. I believe that what I'm asking for, I'm going to receive. And trust when I tell you, in that process, I'm also going to learn about people because it's going to say, well, you know what? In that energy, I really didn't get assistance from them and they didn't even offer it. So maybe don't give a fuck about what I got going on. Hello? So that's it for that. I do want to say, you guys, today is the last day for the 3 people that I did. And I do want to say this too, that Mystic Persia, or Madam Merkaba, formerly known as Mystic Persia, and of course I still allow some people to call me that, because you met me as Mystic Persia. But I offer deals like I'm offering now to give people an opportunity who, once before said, hey, I really want to take advantage of this opportunity, but money was kind of the issue. Or, hey, maybe someone who hit me up for work, 7, 8 months ago, and I'm still waiting to hear back from them. I'm thinking, well, maybe, they didn't have that money at that time, but maybe, hey, right now during this event, they're going to say, hey, I got a little something, something right now. I can, sign up and take advantage of this energy. And so that's why I offer these deals, honey. And so, yes, like I said, when they are present, some of them, may come back. Some of them are just going to be a one-time thing. And of course, like I said, it's to kind of set the temperature and see where everybody else is at. See, if you were expecting some free shit, if you're really trying to get work done, or you just wanted to annoy the fuck out of me, because that's what people do, girl. Sometimes people want to, annoy the fuck out you, girl. You already know, girl. Sometimes people just want to test the gangster and say, let me try to bug this hoe. Fuck around and find out, babe. Hello. Because some people have been blocked, girl. PayPal, Gmail, and all that, girl. Trust when I tell you that. Some people have been blocked. Okay? Hello? Okay? Respectfully, girl. I don't need your money that damn bad. Thank you, but no thank you. Hello? Thank you, but no thank you, babe. And so either way, um, let me see these comment sections before I go, girl. Ooh, girl, 53 minutes. It's so weird how you feel like you have a little conversation for 5 minutes and the conversation ended up being an hour. Girl, I can't believe this. I can't believe this shit, girl. I want to do 30 fucking minutes and I'm here for a fucking hour. Girl, let me scroll up. Hey, CJ, how you doing? This dream of you basking in field of tulips and I had randomly met you. You look so beautiful. Thank you, CJ. Honey, our spirit is connected. Come on in here. It's funny, I caught your live today. I had a dream about you because me and my best friend, I fell asleep to one of your videos and I guess I was listening to you in the background. Come on in here. Come on, Hanther to size. Come on, Um, um, come on, come on, Sand Franco 3240. You're about you are bewitched. Massa, make America straight again. Well, America's never been straight. In fact, let me pull up my scientific research. Let me pull up my scientific researchers, honey. Hold on. Because they said that the masses were doing what they say the masses was doing breaking the buck breaking and shit. Um, okay, it says right here that and of course this is from prism.com. It said that same-sex acts were heavily condemned as sodomy, which of course is true. They did not call same-sex acts homosexual until like the 1800s. Prior to the 1800s they called this is why they say that homosexuals and prostitutes were linked together, because sodomy was anybody who practiced unclean sex. And according to them, unclean sex was anything that was outside of coitus, which was penis to vagina. So if you had oral sex, you were considered to have unclean sex. That was sodomy. If you had anal sex, whether it was man on man, woman on woman, man on a woman, that was considered sodomy. And so they called you sodomites, and they called prostitutes sodomites. They called women who let the men take advantage of them like that sodomites. And so either way, honey, truthfully speaking, homosexuality came about around 1865 to like 1887. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. And so either way, it said that although this was considered sodomy or sinful in colonial America, evidence suggests that same-sex intimacy, and they said evidence, babe, they have evidence of this, that same-sex intimacy and relationships existed among European settlers, enslaved Africans, and indigenous populations. So that means you had settlers fucking on other settlers. You have also enslaved, Africans fucking on other enslaved Africans. You had indigenous people fucking on other indigenous people, but you also had them intermingling, having threesomes, three, four ways, five ways, six ways, and that's why even going into ancient witchcraft of America, bro, they were having foursomes, threesomes, orgies, and all that. And so even going into the first documented orgies, if you need to know what that is too, we can get into it. And so either way, so these people have been sucking dick and getting, doing things since the beginning of time, girl. And there's a good chance too. What's his name again? Hold on. His name is You Are Bewitched, that your grandmama or your grandfather was a homosexual or dominant. Hello, respectfully, but they were rubbing and sucking and touching and loving, honey, because going into swingers and going into three-way shit, girl, that is still an act of homosexuality. A swinger, a man wanting to see another man's genitalia, is very homoerotic, baby. He's a homosexual. A woman that wants to see another woman's vagina, that's very homoerotic. Sorry to break it to you. And same thing with the whole three-way stuff. A homeboy want to have a threesome with a girl, and we're gonna split roast and shit because you want to see another penis. That's what's going on. Straight people don't have threesomes. Straight people don't have orgies. They don't do swinging. Straight people don't do that. You know why? Because they straight. And all they want to see is what they want to see. They want to have clean sex. Heterosexual people like to have clean, normal sex. When you start getting into orgies, swingers, byways, triways, threesomes, public affairs and stuff, you don't care if it's a man watching, a woman watching, you are not heterosexual, babe. Heterosexuality does not mean that you only are sexually attracted to vagina. Heterosexuality means that you are only interested in seeing vagina. You are only interested, you have a vagina, you're only interested in seeing penis. You don't want to watch woman and man porno. You don't want to see none of that. Girl, and that's the confusion amongst all you people, is that y'all be homoerotic, but y'all don't like the homosexuals. Make it make sense. Y'all out here talking about homosexual people and shit, but y'all like to watch gay porn. Ladies, hello? Like, I'm sick of the bullshit. It's okay. So, Master, make America straight again. America's never been straight, girl, since the beginning of time, girl. Just so you know, you've been witched. And let's get into orgies, honey, beans. You want Master, who couldn't keep his motherfucking dick straight, honey, to make America straight again. See, hello? You came to the right room. You are bewitched. You came to the right motherfucking room, baby. I like to educate my people, honey. Come on back. Come on back, baby. I like to educate. Ow! Come on in here. I'll run away from the educational session. So hold on. Hold on. Wow. Ooh, hold on. And that was Prism.com. Because you know, Kama Sutra predates your mama's mamas, mama's mamas, mama's 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 mamas, mama's mamas. You know, this is like over 2,500 years ago, girl. And they had special sexual moves for the homosexual male and female. They had ways for men to make other men have orgasms and all that good stuff, baby. See, that's the type of teaching that you really don't want to hear about because when they got you teach, because they even got stuff on there how to, because see, a lot of you heterosexual people, y'all don't know how to make your counterparts, your opposite sex people, do what they need to do. That's why we got all these hoes now. We got women riding and driving on all things that stick up right, and you got men out here sticking their things that stick up right, and everything that allows it that has an opening. Children, animals, people, other men, other women, Lord, respectfully. And so, girl, y'all don't know y'all don't know that sexual energy is sacred. And of course, y'all want to look at the prostitutes and the whores and stuff as being bad, but you don't understand that these energies are sacred, and it takes a lot of knowledge to get people to get into that energy. And baby, I have that knowledge. Okay, sex worker or not, I know how to make my motherfucking man feel good. Okay, I'm on a roll, girl. Excuse me. There's going to be grammatical errors. There's going to be statements and blah, 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 and all that going on right now. Excuse me. I'm on a roll. Hello. But see, I know how to make my man feel good without even giving him what he needs. See, hello? Locked and loaded, baby. Hello? That's what I know how to do. I don't even got to meet with him and I ought to keep wanting to come and keep coming back and coming back. Hello? That's a talent right there, babe. To make a man that don't really want you now. Hello? And he ain't never have to have a piece of this. Hello? You better get into it, girl. And so, hold on. Let me get into this. I like to educate the children. You know, you know what I mean? I like to, hold on. I like to, well, I like to get into this, honey. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get into this. Hold on. I saw a documentary years ago, and it said that all porn is gay porn. And I didn't really understand that in that moment, but I started to realize that it is really true because eventually you will want to do gay stuff. And that's just what it's been in this generation anyway, especially going into like the Bootsies, and these people, the Snoop Dogs that allegedly, put their younger children onto like adult stuff when they were young. Um, and so either way, um, they were talking about all porn being gay porn, and I had to think about the era where porn became like a real public thing where you go out and buy it because they've always made some type of, um, salacious and explicit type of content, but it became public for you to buy it out in the stores in the 70s, and they would even like do certain things. And so I know around that time, that's when orgies became like, they called it consensual orgies, where people could participate in it if they wanted to. Okay, so 1972, babe. Okay, and we're in 2026 now, and I'm sure, by the way you're typing, you are bewitched that you are definitely after 1972, 1972 now. So you came after the era where these men and women were really dykes on bikes and fags with hags. Hello, can we talk about it respectfully? Hello, that they didn't really want to be outed as that. So it was either they had to get drunk or get high to participate in some weird shit like that, and or they would just do it. They would sit here and like hold they, wife up and let the friend do what he wanted to do to her because they want to see what the friend was working with. Hello? I mean, we're just talking about it here. Hello? Can we talk? So they were doing very much homoerotic things, but using the straight um, activities to get past it. And that's what I tell people, and I will always say, to me, heterosexual men only watch lesbian porn. To me, heterosexual men may not even watch porn. Into that. To me, a heterosexual man is not going to be on an app and just let anybody. And now they're sending out pictures of themselves because they don't know if this is a man or woman that they're sending their stuff to. So the idea that people are open to that speaks already volumes to me if there's some type of sexual deviance there. Like I said, we're not to that because, of course, a lot of people step away, and again, I really don't get about the issue. Okay? That's why I feel about the LGBT because your man probably got some gay semen in him. Hello, and or you might got some gay semen in you. And this is why you supposed to step away. Because it's fighting your motherfucking loins and shit, girl. Because you know sperm has its own activity. You know sperm is its own identity and own. You fuck with bum cum, you become a bum slum. Can we talk about it? That's why we don't do that. Hello. You fuck with desperate and basic ass people and you allow them to do things to you sexually through sweat, blood, tears, and bodily fluids of any type. Girl, you also inherited those type of conditions. Hello. But see, a lot of people, they not even gonna they're not even gonna understand that because they're not on that level. And so going into this right here, it actually says that orgies has been going on since the 17th century. Document, they have evidence to prove it, that the Pilgrims and the Puritan court records suggest that sexual misconduct was not uncommon. Some records referring specifically to acts of communal or group sexual encounters, challenging the traditional views of early American prudishness. See, so they have to act like, as Americans, we don't do that. Oh no, God frowns down on that while they were getting on. While they were behind the court, the church, because you know that's when the courts and the church became together. You know, your pastor was the judge. You know, that's when the churches and the states were intertwined and shit. And so they behind the scenes getting it on while they over here trying to arrest this person or lynch this person for breaking a crime, like robbing or killing somebody. And a lot of people actually passed away through these type of communal type of experiences. And so I need you to understand that sex working or sexual intimacy has been around for a very long time and it is considered the eldest profession. They were even trying to ban prostitution, which was not successful. Later on, they did ban it, but they were trying to ban it in the 1800s, 1830s. They were concerned about the rise of urbanization and prostitution. They were basically trying to promote, and the guy's name is Sylvester Graham. He was trying to promote sexual abstinence because he was saying that these people were becoming so sexually engulfed that they were trying to have sex with everything and everyone. They wanted things from goat, sheep, lows, cows. You know, I said lows, which I know I'm on the road. Birds, chickens, roosters, horses, sheep, goats, donkeys. Y'all doing it all. But that's all the concern for y'all, right? As long as it's not two men. Listen, y'all don't care about it as long as it's not two men getting it on. Or a man who thinks he's a woman getting it on. Or a woman that wants another woman getting it on. Or a woman who thinks that she's a man getting it on, huh? Yeah, y'all don't care about nothing else though, huh? Y'all don't care about the animals getting hurt. Y'all don't care about the children getting hurt. Y'all don't care about the mamas getting hurt. Y'all just care about the homosexuals. Y'all just want all the fags to go to hell. That's what it's like. You're just like, girl, at this point, girl, we're not even preaching about nothing else, girl. We said that all the gays are going to hell. We said, take them to hell, Lord. Take the homosexuals sisters and the lesbian systems and the homosexuals and the transvestites and the transsexual system and all that. Take them to hell, Lord. See, we're not concerned about anything else. We're not concerned about the pastors, the preachers, the ministers, the police officers, the teachers, the maintenance men. We're not caring about their sexual crimes because they've been doing it. And they were doing it in the opening too. They said 17th century, they've been openly doing fucked up ass crimes onto women and children. Okay. But y'all not concerned about that because it became so open. And now that there's no hidden perversion, now everybody's upset about it. Said, like she was really kind of like against certain things. I believe she said, no, me, she's kind of not too happy about that. But I'm like, well, same thing with crack and shit, girl. I mean, y'all gotta feel stupid as fuck, girl. Because in my hair, it was Molly, it was ecstasy, girl. I never liked any of that. And it was everywhere, girl. I was smart enough to say, I don't that shit. So y'all gotta be dumb as fuck to be like, well, during the 1970s and 80s, it was LSD and da da da, and I tried it, and it was a common thing. No, you're just a dumbass bitch. Respectfully. Respectfully, you're just a dumbass bitch. You wanted to fit in. And that's like we saying too, girl. You're immature. You're insecure. You're not yourself, girl. You can tell me a fuck ass thing about me, girl. Because I wasn't taught how to be secure to myself like that. I had to teach myself that. Hello? I wasn't taught how to suck a dick and how to get fucked. Hello? I wasn't taught that. I had to educate myself on that. The proper etiquettes of that, of how you should have that type of intimacy with someone, how to respect your body. Because, see, that's what it comes down to, respectfully, that people think that condoms is only about safety in the sense of you don't want to get nothing. No, condoms is really, especially in 2026, it tells whether or not you have self respect and self decency. It talks about whether or not you respect your body and your motherfucking power. Because I would hate to know that somebody who's not my husband or my motherfucking wife is putting deposits in me. I would have to think about somebody who I'm not trying to be on that type of level with is able to do that. We're not talking about because we're in this energy of I like you. I'm thinking of the aftermath. And so that takes a level of intelligence and it also takes a level of feeling good about yourself to say, you know what? I know you. I might be the only one, but let's use protection. And it even goes further down if you just met this person. If you meet people off of apps randomly, if you meet people randomly and y'all doing shit unprotectedly, it's like, so are you really that smart? Are you really a goddess or a god? Or are you just acting like one? Hello? So it is what it is, honey. You know, so you are bewitched. I hope you learned something in that teaching matter. Oh, come on in here, spirit. Ow! I love educating the children. Anybody else who need to be educated, need me to educate someone, send me an email to 2spiritmystic@gmail.com, 2spiritmystic.blogspot.com. I love educating. I'm a teacher. I like to give people the knowledge. Each one teach one, reach one. I think that in our society we have a lot of imbeciles and incompetent ass people. I think that we're seeing it in a whole bunch of presentations, and it's unfortunate. We're seeing in all cultures, all identities, all energies, and at this point we got to stop. We got to say no to ignorance. We got to say to, baby, don't give that to the space or the place or the ring with a bitch like me. Make sure you have your P's and Q's and T's and I's crossed, dot, squirreled, wrapped around, and tied up in a motherfucking bow. Because one thing for sure, two things for certain, baby, I'm going to give it to you, be given to, and also you're going to feel it. And of course, we could do it white or black or whichever way, girl, because see, I know all my cultures. So I can read you like a white woman. And excuse me, let me step out of that. I can educate you like your first grade teacher, Miss Earlson. I can teach you how things should be done like a chef. Hell, I can even be your mama and your daddy. You know what I mean? And that's how I can educate you. I can teach you a thing or two respectfully. And no, I'm not saying I know it all, but glory be to the high spirit that reigns supreme. That knowledge will always be given because it is a well, honey. Knowledge is like a deep well of water. No, no, no. How can I say this? Water is like the ocean. It has no depth. And so knowledge is like the ocean. It has no depth. And so one thing about the Holy Spirit is that I allow the Holy Spirit. I step in and I tap in and I say, Holy Spirit, activate. I say, Holy Spirit, I need you to come on in here right now. Before I get into my emotions and my energy, I say, Holy Spirit, I need you to come on in here. I need you to tell me, Holy Spirit, what I need to do. I need you to give me the knowledge. I need you to give me the wisdom. I need you to teach me something so I can teach them. Give me some words of encouragement. Give me some power and some wisdom to share to people so they can wake up. Because we sick of them being in a slumber and a dumb and a clamor for just some calm. We sick of it. And that's what I say. I say, Holy Spirit, activate. And so when I get into this educational reading session with you, I'm asking the Holy Spirit to use my tongue. Make sure I say what I need to say. And sometimes I add a little extra onto it. When I add a little extra up on it, girl, that's when I start biting shit, flipping shit, and ripping shit all up. Hello. But see, I allow the Holy Spirit to use my tongue because it says that the tongue is like a double-sided sword. It has the power of life and death. And I hope when we're done that I dead your ignorance and I dead your arrogance, but I give life to the inner you that needs to be healed, that I give life to the inner you that needs some words of encouragement and also to help you find who you really are. Because see, a lot of you in facades, a lot of you ain't built like that. A lot of you think you built like that, but you're not built like that. You're like a marshmallow, but you act like you're a graham cracker encased. You act like you're a marshmallow encased in a graham cracker, but you're really just a marshmallow. Oh, hallelujah. See, don't get me to get into a reading session publicly because I'll read y'all. See, people be asking me, can you come on and do a video about blah, blah, blah? See, I really try to refrain from that because listen, I'm a reader. I'm a storyteller. But see, I'm an honest storyteller. I don't like to make shit up when I'm reading. Somebody's gonna get a reading session today from someone I know because they were trying to check me and clock me, and so I gotta call him and give him his reading session. Cause see, y'all don't think I read men too. I read them all. I read man, woman, boy, girl, gay, straight, black, Christian, Jewish, thugs, gangbangers, drug dealers. Bitch, you can all get it. And so he thought he was gonna clock the T and clock my motherfucking money and say, well, what's going on here? And he wanted me to fight with somebody. So I told this other guy respectfully, I said, baby, I can give you your reading session too, but I prefer to give him his reading session first so y'all can team up and I could do a 2-for-1 special. I can read y'all both at the same fucking time for round two. And so either way, I don't like to tap in on energy because y'all, things just, listen, I be having to bite my tongue because I be like, I don't think I should say it like that. And that's what I would do. I would have a reading session, and the reading session won't be so nice. So this is why I try to refrain from certain topics. You know what I mean? And even people that be trying to be critics and shit on certain shit. You know what I mean? Like everybody got something to say about what Megan Thee Stallion is doing and Nicki Minaj and all these people. And I'm just like, but girl, can we see what you got going on? If her albums ain't selling, if she's not selling out concerts, can we see exactly what your sold out concerts have gotten you? Hello? Hello? And then even going into comparing and contrasting relationships. She was in that relationship for a year. Look at all the shit she got from Clay. What have you gotten from in the past year from any of your situationships, including your marriage? So these are questions that we all want to know and that I don't really want to get into reading because, girl, like I said, I like to read my reading style is a little different from other people. And so I like to read you, on you. Sometimes other people get brought into it. But that's not really my thing. I don't like to read people collectively. If I got a problem with you and just so happen you're white, fat, and nasty built, I'm not going to bring up racial, slurs to read you down because that's going to affect the whole community. I'm not going to bring up all fat people because that's going to insult the community. And even people that are not really that attractive. I'm going to make sure that you feel what I'm saying about you. And that way, if you try to read me down, you can read me down off what you know about me. You can't say, well, I know you trannies like to da 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 da, because that's not true, baby. I'm built different. See, I'm not built like these other transgender people. You might think so, but I'm not. Okay, my parties are a little different. My transition did not come for validation or acceptance. I think that people not accepting it, people not liking it, push me more so into being a stealth type of woman. And so respectfully, that's where it's at with me. You don't like it, you don't agree with it, girl. I don't have nothing to prove to you. God take bless. God bless. But anywho, y'all, I'm about to make me some mud water, y'all. Y'all know what mud water is. Y'all know what mud water is. And so I stocked up on mud water, girl, and Target had it on clearance, y'all. This was like 2 or 3 months ago. And I stocked up on it, bro. They had like 3 or 4 bags. I got them all, okay? And so, anywho, and I also got me some rice coffee too. But I want some white chocolate sweetener. And I can't find a white chocolate sweetener, so I've been using brown sugar, sugar-free brown sugar, cinnamon, girl, from Tirani. Okay, shout out to Tirani, girl. I gotta go to Italy, girl. Anyway, y'all, and so they're talking about going to Spain next year. I'm like, girl, can we go to Italy? Anyway, so mud water is basically our organic mixture, and it's alternative to coffee or hot cocoa, depends on which one you get. I got the black bag and I got the green bag. And so the green bag is supposed to be the alternative to hot cocoa, and the black bag is supposed to be alternative to coffee, but they both taste like hot cocoa coffee to me. And so either way, mud water has cacao, masala chai, cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, chaga, turmeric, and Himalayan salt. Now, if you do not know, cordyceps, lion's mane, reishi, and chaga are actually mushrooms. And mushrooms are actually something you want to kind of do your research on. And the extraction method and stuff, because of course shrooms, are mushrooms, and so we don't do certain things with certain herbs, and so that's what I'm gonna make, and I'm also gonna take my rootin, girl. Y'all don't know where rootin is, girl. Look into rootin. Rutin. Rutin. Rootin, honey. And that's pretty much it, girl. So I'll make me some mud water. Was stripping a new way to make money without prostituting? You know what's so crazy? Stripping would be considered prostitution because and they made up little laws where they say that stripping is not prostitution as long as you're not touching. Prostitution is actually the exchange of money through physical contact. They were trying to change the definition with the OnlyFans stuff and say, oh well, she's a prostitute because she's taking her money off for clothes from her clothes off for money. Oh my god, money off for clothes. Come on, her spirit. Isn't that how our brain operates anyway? Everything's in reverse. And so we think we're saying something left to right, but we're actually saying things right to left. Hello? And so they were trying to say that you are a prostitute if you sell content because people are exchanging for your news money. But I'm like, no, girl, it has been separated that money in exchange for being touching is prostitution. If there's money being exchanged for sexual acts and you have to touch for sexual acts, that is prostitution. Okay, that's what it is what is stated. And so either way, prostitution, this is why they do not let you touch the strippers. You can only watch, but you cannot touch. That's why they have bouncers there. It is not prostitution. But if you're touching on the strippers, it is prostitution and they can get arrested. And Cardi B should have been arrested because that's one prostitute ass hoe. She should have been arrested respectfully. See, that's like, fuck it. Arrest her! The thug, she said herself that she was a fucking prostitute girl, fucking and sucking on Johns in a stripper club and shit. Talk about they all do that. All of them don't do that, babe. I got relatives that are strippers. I have friends that are strippers. Hello? Well, not friends, they're associates, but still. I have people I know that are strippers. Girl, they don't all fuck on clients, girl. Nice try. When is that charge coming? Y'all worrying about Nicki Minaj and shit. When is Cardi being charged with her drugging of these men and shit, girl? I'm sick of it. Girl, good music. She's a decent looking transgender woman. She looked like a beautiful transgender, even though she was born a female. I just gotta say that she looked like a beautiful transgender. If she was transgender, she would be beautiful and passable. She's still beautiful, period. It doesn't matter if she's transgender or not, but I'm just saying. But when she gonna get charged while we out here burning up Beyonce? While we out here burning up Nicki Minaj? Costa Rica guy. I got this spray that's called Costa Rica, and it's pink pineapple sunrise. And it has push passion fruit, pineapple, and all that. I just sprayed on my girl. It smells so good. But yeah, going into that, girl, maybe she's 21 division or something, girl. I don't know. Maybe the spirit's protecting her. But girl, we weren't about Nicki Minaj and shit, girl. Nicki Minaj didn't do that to you hoes, to your homosexuals, to your LGBT people. She didn't do shit to y'all. But let me tell you what, Cardi B did. Yeah, you're saying, well, no, she didn't. No, she did. She drugged somebody's daddy. If you're a prostitute, she fucked up your game because that's why clients show up without money. That's why clients show up and they don't want to pay you money. That's why clients show up and they want to pull you through a loop and say they left the wallet in the car. Shout out to Cardi B. Yeah, shout out to her. Hey, Cardi. Shout out to you, bitch. The fuck out of here. The fuck about that girl. So if it's fuck Nicki, it's fuck Cardi too. Hello. Respectfully. And Nicki Minaj have one baby with one man. The fuck? This bitch had a baby when she was married. The fuck? This bitch have fucking on bisexuals, trisexuals, and I get sexuals, allegedly, girl. She out here having a man who was they said he's gay. She had a baby by him, so she just like gay men. I don't know. They got me thinking that maybe she might have had a baby with somebody else like Jason Lee or something. I don't know. They just got you wondering some shit. Like, what's really going on here, girl? Within the LGBTQ, Levitica community, girl. You got gay boys having sex with vagina. You got trans women having sex with vagina. You got trans men having sex with penis. You got lesbians having sex with bisexuals. You got bisexuals having sex. I mean, what's going on with the girls? Is there anybody really gay anymore? Is there anybody really trans anymore? Is there anybody that are like really like trans-normative? Maybe that's the term, trans-normative. Is there any trans-normative people out there? Are there any people that were born one sex, transition to the opposite sex, but they still act like they were born that sex naturally? Because every woman is not a lesbian, and every man is not a homosexual. So I'm just trying to figure out what makes trans men become homosexual men, and what make trans women become lesbians, and what make gay boys, I'm figuring out how to say this properly and politically correct, and what make gay boys become not bisexual, what make gay, well, it would be bisexual, because now you're into penis and you're into vagina. Maybe they need to change the word bisexual to meaning that you like bigendered people, because technically that would be bigender. If you were a man who was born a man, but yet you transition to be a woman, but you still, oh, excuse me. If you are a person that was born male and yet you transition to present as female, but you still do manly or masculine characteristics, they should call that bigender, not transgender. And then same thing with that. If you're born female and you transition to be a male, but you still do things that a female would do, then they should just, like I said, that should be called by gender. And then the people that are attracted to you are considered bisexual because clearly you look like a man and they see that and they want that. And then they see the vajayjay and they want it even more. And then the same thing with that. They see you look like a woman, they want it, and then they see the pink and they're like, I really want that now. Ow! Let's see word it all, girl. An apple is now orange, a purple is now yellow and green and yellow and purple. Depends on your perception. And now bisexuals are actually bigendered attracted people. You like bigenders, you are considered bisexual. If you like a transgender who presents as a female and acts like a female, you are not bisexual, you are heterosexual. Come on, let's make transnormative a thing. I'm down for that. Can we make transnormative a thing? Arrest her. Throw away the key. And she was over there putting bottles in her. Listen. Oh my God, girl. Y'all, I gotta say this, y'all, because we on this. I had a sister, y'all. Oh, and I gotta go, girl. It's 1:14. I need to really beat this motherfucker before 3 o'clock. I had a sister, y'all, that just loved Cardi B to death, girl. She loved Cardi B. And I'm like, this bitch is so fucking trifling. Like, I'm not even a fan of Cardi B, but I know her little rants and her little gay slurs and her, I think she said some transphobic stuff in the past as well. And then her drugging these men and stuff. I was like, I could never get down with that. Like, I could never ride hard for somebody like that because it makes you think that you're into that too. You condone that as well. Like, you're into that as well. And not saying that, I mean, I don't know, but that's what I feel. And so going into like, they liked Cardi B, and then of course they're respectful to Nicki. But then when the Trump stuff came out about Nicki, it was like, oh, I can't stand this bitch. Oh, she was, and I was thinking to myself like, respectfully, everybody I know doesn't have to have the same religion as me. Everyone I know and love doesn't have to have the same religion as me or have to eat what I eat, right? Respectfully. I'm the exact same way when it comes to politics. I think that is a religion. And I think that's why they wanted to separate state from religion, because I think that is a religious thing. Like people put politics before their belief system in God and all that, right? Clearly, because people were panicking about this man getting elected, and they just threw God out the window. They threw their rituals and shit out the window. And so I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, but why would I be upset if my mom loves me and she showed me through her actions in the past, and then my mom decides to jump on the bandwagon with a man who doesn't like me and he doesn't know me, like he doesn't like my type of energy collectively? Why would I cut my mom off? Because maybe there's something else in this person that my mom sees that could benefit her. Like in my mind, I'm thinking like, why would that? Like, why would I be upset about that? And then even on the flip side of that, I know people will be looking at me crazy when I'm like, so I'm gonna fuck up Nikki because Nikki is a different political party than me, which doesn't affect me because her money goes long. Respectfully, her money goes long. So having that type of money and voting anything outside of being a Republican, no shade, would not make any type of sense. Respectfully, respectfully, it would not make any type of sense. Money, 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 and you're girl, no shade. Because Democrats say something, Republicans say something else. And I know what these parties mean. So I'm like, yeah, baby. Democrats will believe that your money is my money too. Republicans will believe that their money is not your money, that they worked hard for their money, and you should also work hard for your money. And that's that. They don't believe in sharing, and sharing is caring. They don't believe in that. Their hard work is their hard work. Democrats, on the other hand, they feel like hardworking people should take care of people who don't want to hard work. That, like I said, it is what it is. And so either way, I'm like, that's a personal thing. But like I said, if I was like, I don't care for her because she don't believe in my belief. She don't believe in spirit and stuff. She actually talked about witches. She actually said that I'm psychotic. People who believe in spirits are psychotics. Okay, that's just one strike against her. But then you ask about on the flip side of this, who has a history of sexual assault and have a history of doing some fucked up ass shit, and you're praising them, but you're degrading and putting down the person who just have a different religious viewpoint than you, it's kind of like 67, 67. I mean, respectfully. It's kind of like, so you down with the fucked up corruption. You're down with the weirdo-ness. You're down with the perversion. But you're not, because that's perverted. That's perverted, girl. A man not wanting you, and you're like, well, I got to get him back because he act like he wanted, but yeah, that's a perversion, baby. That's a deviancy, by the way. So you condone that, but Nikki is not in no deviancy. Nikki hasn't um, signed a bill that said that transgender should be forced to detransition or anything. Like she didn't do anything or done anything that would affect you. And I'm talking about, like I said, this friend in particular, because of course she is a sex worker. This friend, of course, is somebody who, represent a certain energy of people. And so it looks crazy to me to be like, damn, so if the world knew that you hated Nikki because she believes in what she believes in, but you like Cardi, and you're talking about some music thing, so you saying that Cardi B music is better than Nicki Minaj music? And maybe it could be the bilingual thing. Maybe it could be because Cardi, I don't know. Maybe it could be a speech thing. Maybe it could be, I mean, like I said, I don't know. It could be anything. But I'm like, girl, once I know you're a pervert or you're a weirdo, girl, that draws the line for me. Best friend, best cousin, all that. I grew up with a cousin who's a pervert, girl. We're not cousins. We don't talk. I even said it on a statement the other day, girl. It's up and it's stuck. I better ever meet him, girl, because it's on site. Respectfully. And this was a best cousin of mine growing up. So it's like, for me, girl, when you start doing that weird shit, girl, I draw the line. You start telling me who you really are and that you support people that don't really like me, girl, that's sure. I mean, girl, you don't pay my bills. I don't give a fuck about that. Respectfully, I don't care. So that's how I said. I was like, ooh, girl, people are a little weird, girl. What's going on in here? Okay. Okay, hold on. Let me see. That's something I don't get at all. Never even wanted to experiment heterosexuality. I'm telling you. But let them tell it, Jay. That's what I tell people. I think that I think that being homosexual normative is weird to certain people and it's really a rare phenomenon. I think that it's rare for someone to be born trans and literally feel 100% like the gender that they are saying that they wish they were born. I think that's a rare thing. And even going into presentation, I meet people all the time. I met people many times. They're like, something about you are very different from these other people. And I was like, it has nothing to do with sex change, it has nothing to do with any of that. Something about you is very different from these other transgenders I met. And I'm like, now I know what the difference is. I'm gonna call it transnormative. I'm gonna call it homosexual normative. Like you could be gay, but your sexuality has nothing to do with how you present. Just because you like men don't mean you have to chase down every man. Just because you like men don't mean you have to prey on men. You know what I mean? Like think about that for a minute. Just because you like men or you like positions with men don't mean that you have to appear to be like that's your first number one thing. Same thing with the trans stuff. It's like where you're trying to convince us that this is what it is, and we know that sexuality and gender, it's not black or white. But what you do privately is your business. We don't have to know that you're into Tom, Dick, and Harry. Only Tom, Dick, and Harry should know that. This whole thing about, hey, I'm Bob and I was born a male and I married a woman and now I transitioned to be a woman and this is a heterosexual woman. And then we also brought on another trans identifying person and we got her pregnant. Now we got two kids. It's like, what type of weird shit is going on, girl? Respectfully. What is going on? Because it's like, girl, you have no dysphoria or no disconnection of being the gender you were born. Why not just stay that gender then? Like what, like girl, gender expression, gender identity, like these are two different things. And then even going into if you like to parade around because clearly you still want to take on this papa daddy role, why not do that behind the closed doors at home? You put on your wigs, your lace fronts, your nails and stuff, and in public you present how it is that you are, because you don't feel like a woman, you feel like a man still. And there's no disrespect to that. I'm just saying, from my point of view, as a trans normative, I'm gonna start using that word, trans normative individual. Like I don't see it, right? And so it's like, girl, what's really going on here? And now they're grouping us all in the same category. Like this is a man and it's always gonna be a man. That's not true. I have no desire to be in a heterosexual relationship. I have no desire in the sense of, in y'all term, being in a relationship and living my life as the gender that I was born. I have no desire in taking on any of those roles. No desire at all outside of being dominant. But I have no desire to be no papa, no daddy, no brother, no uncle. Oh, that's the protector of the house. That's the bitch that run the house. That's not my desire, babe. I don't want to take control. I don't want to be the hello. Can we talk about it? Was that a little too deep? But a lot of people want to take on those roles, and I really think it's trauma. And no one could get me past that. I really do think that the sexual perversion and the you want to do everything. They told me a term the other day, a DD and a PF, and I'm not gonna say it, but y'all should get it. A DD and a PF. I heard that term for the first time. I heard DD last week for the first time, and I heard PF the first time yesterday when a trans woman was calling a trans man a stud and was saying that she's dick, hungry, and they were like, "But wouldn't that make you a PF? Because if that's really a woman and you're calling her a woman, you were born a man, so you're really a man, and you were dicking that person down." So I was like, oh my God, that's what it is. That's what it is, girl. And it would go the same way for the gay boys who like trans men, girl. They're PFs. Okay, like I said, I'm strictly dickly, babe. I like the meat. I like the meat that comes on a man. You know what I mean? I like the way men smell. I like the pheromones that come from men. I like the muscles. I like the hair. I like the feeling. I like the energy that men gives when they're in love and they like what they like. I love that type of energy. I've attempted to be with other things and it just wasn't my cup of tea. Still love them, respectfully, and kudos to those who are into, that are vagina attractive and into vagina, whether they're gay, men or women, male or female. But for me, like I said, I'm strictly dickly. Now, that don't mean I like all dickly situations. And that don't mean that I'm going to act out for some dickly situation. It takes a lot to ride this ride, as they say. It takes a lot of, energy to be able to have this type of experience. And so, I like, but that means everybody's going to get it. And I mean, I want everybody's tea. You know what I mean? What they say, I'm a rare phenomenon. They said one in every 40,000 have some transgenderism. That's how I feel with Dickley energy. I feel like one in every 1 million would have the opportunity to give me any of their Dickley. And that's just that. I don't care what it looks like. I'm not interested in being around it or any of that, honey. There's certain standards I'm into when it comes to that type of situation, because I know what it's like to have that energy. And so I like that feeling. I don't like just the feeling of anybody doing a Dickley duty. Honestly, I like when the Dickley duty is an equally balanced Dickley duty and we're on the same energy level, because that right there will make me call out of work for a week. That will make me say, I don't want to see nobody for the next 2 weeks. That's what I like. I don't like that type of energy where it's like a 1 minute, 2 minute thing and I'm just like, okay. Oh, that's it, girl. Oh, I'm going back into my normally programming. Like, girl, no. Clearly, you have not had no good experiences. Clearly, you've only been playing with people that want to use you and abuse you. Hello? You don't know what it's like to have that dickly duty from a goddess perspective. See, when you act like a peasant and you move like a peasant, you're only comfortable with peasant things. When you act like a goddess, accept your role of a goddess, and you know what these energies feel like to be a goddess, bitch, you won't go back no more. Because we'd be like, how did you go from this to that? And you're so comfortable with being celibate and all that. And it's like, well, I mean, you learn. Like, girl, I ain't just going to meet up with just anybody because I'm in that mood. I'm not going to just let anybody, have a swim in this golden lake, girl. Like, make it make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. There's 8 billion people in this world, and 8 billion people ain't going to be able to ever have a piece of this. So the idea of, I got to save them all, that's trauma. I gotta try them all, and I gotta give it all, like Pokemon. That's trauma, babe. I don't care what nobody say. That's trauma, girl. Cause everybody ain't gonna be able to get it, and you ain't gonna be give it to everybody. And the fact that you giving it to people that you won't even see yourself being with in the end game is crazy as fuck to me, honey. But like I said, let me not get into that, girl. Hello. Let me go, y'all. Okay? Like they feel like we gotta chop it to be validated. Right. They ain't sleeping with us. I don't know. I just wanted your take on the topic. Did he sound like split personality disorder? I mean, well, technically that's what it is, right? If you're somebody who said that you were born a female and you told your parents that you don't like men, because I'm sure, and God, I'm willing to stand on this, that every trans person that are male or female, when they came out the closet and they told their parents that they were transgender, I'm sure the first question that their parents asked were, are you into guys or girls? Well, dad, clearly I don't want a man because what man wants this? And then for the transgender, there you go. Dad, mom, clearly I'm into man because I mean I don't want to be with a girl. I already tried dating a girl and it didn't work out for me. Like these are the stories that I've heard, and I'm sure this is what is being said. And so, split personality disorder will definitely be a gay man who's into having sex with a vagina. We're not talking about straight men who identify as straight, but they like to have fun. Like, I feel like that's a different situation. And not negating it, not putting it on hold, but I'm just saying if a man come out and say that he's straight, this is a man that likes something that opens up. And there are some, which a very small percentage of straight identifying men that like to be opened up. Okay, can we talk about it? So respectfully, I think that when a man identifies as straight, but just so happens he's into penis and vagina, I'm like, that kind of comes with the territory because he's kind of curious of that energy. Like, I'm a man, I feel like I can have it all. Men think they're the king of the world. But when you come out as saying that you're a gay man, nobody will ever imagine that a gay man will come out as being gay and be open to having sex with a vagina as long as it looked like a man. No one ever would imagine that before 2017. I mean, let's be real. Like, they even had a documentary I told y'all about, and it wasn't even a documentary. T.S. Madison did something back in the day on her channel. I don't know if the video's still there, but she had an interview with, I think it was like bottom, top, gay, straight, masculine, feminine. It was her, and it was these guys, and it was this lesbian stud. And this lesbian stud was talking about how she used to go to the clubs in the 90s and the early 2000s with a strap on. And she dressed like a man, she talked like a man, she moves like a man, but she knew she was a woman. She's comfortable being a woman. She never wanted to be a man. She wanted to just give that illusion. So basically like a drag king. And then she would go to these clubs and she said something about having sex with a gay man gave her power. So she was in these clubs sexually violating these gay men with strap-ons. And she even looked at the camera in this video and said, if y'all were in this club during this era and you were doing it with somebody in the bathroom stall and you wasn't trying to do anything else, you more than likely was getting it, deep down by me. And I was thinking to myself like, well, I mean, who would be at a club doing it in the bathroom anyway? I mean, that just doesn't make sense to me. But I mean, simple, sleazy ass, easy people do it anywhere. I mean, girl, I've never been that type of girl. Hello, doing it in a park, restroom, hotel. I mean, girl, listen. Hello, I'm freaky, but I ain't that damn disrespectful. But either way, so in my mind, I'm like, these gay men would have sex with this woman because they thought this was a man. And I'm not saying that gay men don't have sex. I feel like gay men are still men. And I think that people will think that transgenders are still in the area as gay men. And of course, I think what will separate a transsexual from someone who's really sexually confused will be a transgender person who is still attracted to the feminine energy and or will do what gay men do, right? Meaning they will still take on their male role, their male identity, because there's no gender dysphoria with that. Transsexuality is gender dysphoria. You don't feel connected to the male role. Now that's separate from being somebody who has a penis and testicles. You've had that your whole life. So I don't think that makes you less than a trans person or woman if that's what you still have and what you got going on. But going into the role of I have it and now I want to be intimate with somebody who's opposite of me sexually, that means somebody with a vagina, and I'm going to take on this dominating role because that's what's going to happen. Now it's kind of like, ooh, now you're getting into some trauma. Now you're getting into some tea here. This is not like a normative type of situation. They call it alternative for a reason. And so that's where it's at for me. Split personality disorder will definitely be for me, like I said, a gay guy who's always been gay, who's to clown transgender women. And now that trans men are like out there now, like femboys are because of porn and all that, now it's all of a sudden you like women. But back in the day, they would be like, I'm sorry, I'm not into transgenders. And if I wanted a woman, I could be with a real one. But girl, this person has a penis. You like penis, bitch. You don't give a fuck about what's a man or woman or that. You like a penis, bitch. Fuck, get the fuck out of here. They have a penis, baby. Stop it. And that's what it came down to, because I was just like, that doesn't make sense to me, though. Because I'm into men, and if I'm meant to date an effeminate man, I won't date a cross-dresser, I won't date a transgender, transsexual. You gotta have a penis, and I have to see a man still. But if it's meant for me to date or marry even an effeminate man, like, I would be open to that. That's not what I'm looking for, but I'll be open to that because I like penis. So it's like this whole idea of that, girl, you're into something and this, but now you're like, I'm going to make exceptions because I feel like these people know what I go through. And so it's like a tranny dating a tranny or a transgender dating a transgender because we both get each other. And it's just like, but who transitioned to be God? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. I didn't transition to be understood. Like, that has to be some type of arrogant, egotistical thing. And the ego is still it's not dead, it's alive. Because why do I need you to validate my identity? Oh, the world don't get me. Who cares? The world didn't get Michael Jackson. The world didn't get Diana Ross. The world didn't get Prince. Who cares? Like, who gives a fuck? So now I want them to understand me, and I know for sure I'm meant to be with somebody, so I'm gonna be with another trans person. There are women that get the trans experience. Why not date a woman? There are men that get the trans experience. There are women that got married throughout history to heterosexual men that understood it. Why not be open to find it? I know why. Because of trauma. You don't feel worthy. You don't feel that you deserve to be happy and content. You don't feel that, and so you're like, I'm just gonna settle. If this is the only thing I can find, why not? Like I said, it is what it is, girl. Split personality disorder, girl. DD. They call it a lesbian that like penis, and a PF is a gay man that likes vagina, or someone who is born male who say they like other males, but they also like vagina. And so I just learned those terminologies, honey. I never heard those terms before, but I just heard them. I was like, what? That's a good one, honey. That's a good one, girl. And like I said, I expect gay men to still be men though. I mean, I expect that. Like these men just so happen are attracted to other men, but they still have the wiring of a male. So that's what separate gay males from transgender people. And now because of the new agenda, they're trying to make it seem like no, regardless of who and what you are, your wiring, this is a different, I guess it's a person to person's case, and it's what they're trying to say, that regardless of what your wiring is, you could still feel like a woman and be comfortable with having your penis, but still be into women, but want to live as a woman. And it's like, but that wouldn't make sense. Like even going in, like if you're telling me this person is like a mute or this person was like special education, and I'm just being real here, I would believe that because that means their wiring in their brain is like really just everywhere. It's like all over the place. So I can understand that. And I would say that would be the exception. Like this is somebody who had IEPs their whole life. They were in special education. They were, remedial challenge, all this other stuff. I could see that. Like, okay, I could see them liking it and everything. But you're going to sit here and tell me that John, the corporal, lieutenant, excuse me, not corporal, the lieutenant of JAGD, that he all of a sudden had this great awakening at 30 years old that he wanted to live as a female, and that he was going to wait until he was 60, not right now in his 30s, transition to look like this female, but he was going to wait until he was 60 to transition to look like a female, to then this whole time only be attracted to other women. And you're also going to tell me that this man is like intelligent, like he was able to put together, and you're telling me he's not traumatized? You're telling me there's no type of trauma that he's experiencing. We're going to say everybody's had trauma, but we're talking about trauma to where it was like perversion trauma. Like he was put through some teas, because he heard stories about that with the I can't remember the person's name, honey, the shark person, where they were abused and stuff and all that, and the parents didn't do nothing about it. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's a trauma situation, and that's what it is. And like I said, I'm not judging. That's people's business. But clarify that I don't know. I've been through some things in my life, and this is what I'm into. I know another trans person I'm really, really cool with, and they're the same way. They're into everything. And I'm just like, girl, it is what it is, girl. We're cool. What you like personally, that's your business, honey. Respectfully. And she told me her trauma. Like, I'm more comfortable with myself now. But, of course, I was, abused and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, but you liked it, though. Because in a sense of, just because you had that abuse and now you've grown to accept this and this is your new identity, but you've seen therapy for it, that means this has already been who you are. It wasn't that type of experience that made you this way. That means you've always been this type of way. And maybe that experience heightened. And of course she was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's exactly what it was. Okay, bingo. Bingo, babe. Period, poo. Don't be saying that the experience made you like men, woman, trans man, lesbians, gay boys, and other trans people. And you wait until you were 30 years old to transition. Don't say that. Just say that this is who I am. And I had experiences that made me truly accept who I am. And that's it. Call it a day, babe. Anyway, let me go, honey. Do you feel like less of one because I don't want? Okay, no. I said if I instant human being. No, that's something I don't get all over. Okay, Already okay. Oh, girl, you are reading. You are reading Quarty. People believe in hell more than God. You said it. People believe in hell more than God. You said it. Okay, my mama always tells me that, and how we ain't even promised tomorrow. You said it. It's true though. That's I said. God is the co-designer of our experience, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and be like, God, this is my life, and this is what I want, and you probably don't want me to have this, but I'm gonna want it. I'm gonna get it. Blah 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 blah. No, I'm gonna say, God, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I want to happen, and give me the knowledge and the wisdom, and like I said, what other traits I need to get me to that level. And some things will come up that you probably never even thought about. You're like, damn, I never really thought about it from that perspective. Wow, I never thought about doing that. I always thought I was going to ABC to G. I never thought I would do. And that's how it works. But like I said, if you're asking God for clarity, you're asking God for knowledge and wisdom on something, and God is showing you, and you're still like, but no, I don't want to let them go because we had good experiences. They taught me some things. When I want to hang out, like this is the only lesbian friend I have next to me, or my only gay friend, or my only transgender friend, then you're gonna continue to have experiences, honey. God ain't gonna bless you with what you need. Because even going to this friend, she was kind of asking, like, I've been kind of doing this and that to manifest this new life, and I feel like something is blocking it. Yeah, you. But how am I blocking? I'm doing everything I could. Well, you're dealing with people that are not on that frequency, though. You cannot ask for a new job and not fully be in that energy. And you're dealing with people that are showing you because you're influenced by this. You want a healthy relationship, but you're friends with people that are in fuck relationships. That's not how the universe help you manifest, babe. You want to be in a situation, and that would have been the first thing for me because you knew after knowing this person for a month that they were in a fucked up relationship. Respectfully, I would have said, unfortunately, that's not what I'm interested in looking for or I'm interested in. So, you know what? I'm down to remain friends with you to see where things go. But I'm on a journey of finding my mate, and I want to see people that are in healthy relationships. That's how I am for me. Like, girl, if I'm on my healing journey on, just say, diet, I'm not gonna hang out with friends that still pig out. Listen, we got nothing in common, babe. If I like to eat healthy, if I'm on this clean diet, and you're like, let's go hang out, and every time I see you're chowing down fattening food, fried food, you're just eating sloppily. That's energy, babe. Yeah, you're gonna try to relapse me. You're gonna try to get me off of my journey. And at this time, honey, yeah, I'm gonna have to put this on hold. And that's how that is with that too. You're trying to manifest a new house, a new job, a new car. And you know, people, oh, I'm okay with having financial problems. I'm okay with struggling. Listen, babe, it's not meant for us to hang out in this season. In this season, I got to keep my distance from you. In this season, respectfully, it's not meant for us to be in each other's face. And like I said, this is if I know you for years. A year and some months, baby, I'm going to let that friendship dwindle away, girl. No shade. A year, 2 years, yeah, I'm going to let that dwindle away. Years of friendship, like 10 years, 7 years, 5 years, I'm like, I can see that's something that you kind of work for and you got to fight for. But like I said, 1 year, and baby, the whole year I've known you just been in this lazy ass, weird ass state. Like, respectfully, honey, not judging, but girl, I wish you the best. You know, God bless you, you know, and I hope you find yourself and realize that tomorrow's not promised and you're living every second ungratefully when I'm trying to live every second gracefully and gratefully. Yeah, that's not going to work out, babe. So, God bless. I'll text you every now and then. So be it. But that's it. And we have friends like that, girl. We don't hang out. I have friends I talk to on the phone and I text. We don't hang out, though. So it's like, oh, girl. Yeah. Oh, We don't hang out like that. Yeah, but you still want to hold on to that relationship for whatever reason. And clearly, that person doesn't give a fuck about you and your situation. And when you were telling me you were finding people, they were kind of throwing jabs and shit like they were jealous. No, honey, they want you to be miserable like them. So it is what it is. And, you know, you'll get some hot water. I might have to order it online. I'm sure they would have it somewhere here in Houston. Yeah, my water is really good. Yeah, my water is really, really good, honey. Oh, and speaking of Houston, CJ Taylor, mm, I know somebody out there in Houston, this sexy ass Asian guy. Hmm. And he been trying to get me to go out there, and I'm like, I don't think so. But he's like, you need to come out. Hmm. I think I know people out there in Houston. I used to know 4 people. Rest in peace, honey. Y'all remember Edie's? Y'all remember Edie's? Y'all remember Edie's, honey? They used to come in my life. Y'all remember her years ago? We'll say like before 2021. Y'all remember her? So yeah, I know people out there, and honey, I met a Pisces gay guy. I think like 6 months ago. He was messy, and Mama Oshun sat down with him. Mama Oshun, aka me, and I told him like this is not the way to go. He ended up contracting HIV, and he's only like 23 years old, and y'all, I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby. I was like 23 years old. No. And he's such a good looking uh gay guy. And I really told him like you need to get your shit together because you're young and the people that you're dealing with have allowed you to fuck your life up. And of course he was like, they didn't do anything. No, they did. Because you've been dealing with people since you were 16 years old who were older than you. And none of these older transgender people or none of these older gay men told you how to have proper hygiene and how to deal with certain people. And so you got your validity in these broken people and it made you more broken. And respectfully, now you're in a situation. And I tell them, I'm not judging. I will never judge you because these are your decisions. But I want you to understand that your life is in this area of gray right now because of other people influences on you. And of course, he was very combative, honey. It took like 2 weeks, and he would try to get in a reading session with me. And I told him flat out, nothing you can do is going to hurt my feelings, baby. And I know that you're only saying this because you're angry, and other people got you thinking that that's the style you read people down to piss you off. But you're not going to piss me off, honey. I think your spirit is good and this and that. And y'all, this person has stayed away from energies. I think this is the second month. And at first I was like, what happened to him? And we have a mutual friend. And they were like, oh, I texted him out the other day and he told me that he don't come around here. Da, da, da. And I said, oh, he listened to my advice. And they're like, yeah, he have a job now. He's taking care of his 2 guinea pig babies. He's living his life. He's going back to school. And I said, bingo. And that's ooh, girl, I got chills right now. Because that's what I'm talking about, girl. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Okay? Let you be the storyteller. Don't let people tell your story for you, for you, but you. Tell your own fucking story, baby. They played with you. They allowed you to think that it was okay to have multiple partners, to do certain things with these partners. And it is okay to have multiple partners if you want to do that, but you got to have hygiene. And the hygiene was off. Okay? So anyway. Did she pass? Yes, she passed. Yes, honey. Yes, she passed away. Um, in 20, I think she first started coming around 2016. And she kind of like was copying me and I'll be like, girl, why you copying me, girl? You don't gotta copy me, honey. And she's like, I really love you and I look up to you and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, I know, girl, but you could do things, differently. And of course, she would just, come around and we would just talk, y'all. And then I think 2018, she's like, I really like this guy. And there's multiple guys she liked, but she's like, oh, and she was getting her life together too, y'all. She was in school. She was trying to get her own shit together. She moved out of her parents' house, got her own apartment. And yeah, she was all like, I like this. I like this guy in particular, and I want to do work on him. And of course, I'm telling her, like, you know what? You got to be careful because that energy will make people go crazy. And I know in the energy, sometimes we'll like fall for people. And especially as trans people, I know that we're more sensitive when it comes to connections with people because we feel like we are public enemy number one. And so we become very sensitive to people that make us feel safe, right? We people like they make us feel safe. We're like, this person could save me. And so I told her, and she never gave any names or any of that. And so she said it, and I still got the video I made for her too, y'all, which is so crazy. And I watch it from time to time. But I made the video for her, and she told me like everything's going good. And I'm like, well, still keep your energy, good. And I think the guy was like not like feeling something, or he was like, I like you, but I don't want to like be in a situation because you're a transgender and I'm a man, blah blah blah. And she's like upset about it. And I told her, well, remember I was telling you this, that's gonna happen, and just let it be, let this energy manifest, because you may want this guy, but if he doesn't want you, allow the universe to bring in the energy that you want. And at that point, this is like 2019, I believe, maybe even 2020. No, this was 2019. And I remember this because I was in Sonic's parking lot. And she was like, I know you told me not to do this, but I feel like I want to do this because I know it's meant for us to be together and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? You got to do what you got to do. And, if this is what you feel, this is what you feel. And I'm not going to say nothing about it. And I think I was upset. I think I came on YouTube next couple of times, y'all, and I kind of like went off and stuff. And this was 2019. And because I remember going home, I didn't live too far from that Sonic. So I went home and I was just like, God, why do some people not listen? Like they really want to do what they want to do. And why? And I had to like really calm myself down because it really infuriated me. It made me really upset. Like, girl, like you're playing a very dangerous game. And so either way, I didn't hear from her. And then I believe like 2020, she messaged me and she's like, hey, she came into the live. And she's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh, wow, I'm shocked to see him, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah. And she's like, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing my business now. And da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, wow, hey, I'm excited. And blah, blah, blah. And she started going into, what she's going to be doing and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, good. And then I think like we kept in contact every now and then, y'all, until like maybe like 2020, because that's when I was like, I gotta shift up out of here, right? It's time for me to relocate and get on my healing journey from my 2018 experiences and stuff. And so either way, yeah, I remember in 2021, and it could have been 2022, but it was 2021, that I remember I got an email from her. And this is something that really kind of like bothers me a little bit. But I know I have no control over that. So I let it go. But she messaged me and she emailed me and she asked me for advice on something. And of course, I did not see it. And then I went into my Facebook page and it showed that I had a missed call from her on Facebook. And I messaged her back and I was like, hey girl, I'm sorry, I missed your your call or whatever. I've been busy or whatever. And of course it wasn't ever opened or read or anything. So I was like, I wonder what happened to her. And then I was going through Facebook and I just think it's so crazy, y'all, how spirit works. And I say I think it's crazy because I still don't know how people don't believe. Like, I still don't know how people who are spiritual practitioners still don't understand the power of spirit. And so I'm going through, I think it was IG. It was either IG or it was a Facebook story. And it said her name. And it was her legal name. And I knew what her name was. And I said no. And they talked about the story and it felt so surreal to me. It felt so surreal to me. It didn't even feel real, y'all. It felt like, damn. And so I thought about that. And I'm like, oh my God. And of course, like I said, I thought for a minute. And this is literally, I think, 4 days before this incident that she tried calling me on Facebook. And I thought for a minute, like, damn, like I could have probably talked her out of this situation. I could have probably like stopped her. Yeah, I would say that's probably one of my hardest experience um, as a spiritual advisor, because of course you give people the information and they don't listen to you. And of course, I think the story was she was out eating and somebody beelined and they shot her. And of course, I'm knowing already, I'm like, oh my God, I know this is the person that she was talking about. I know this is the person she was talking about. And I also saw it play out. Like she got into it with this guy and she felt abandoned by this person. And she's asking why. Like why? Like why is this person not whatever? And she thought that this energy she was putting into him was gonna bring this man and change his mind. And so of course she did some fucked up shit that she regretted, and she lost her life behind it. And so that's why, fast forwarding, I know other sisters that I'm not a spiritual advisor for, but they are a sister, right? They're also trans experienced, but they're also my sister. They were put in situations very similar to where they wanted a guy very badly. And maybe the guy made them think that he wanted them too. And of course, it's a different situation because she jumped this guy for years. When this other sister, it was only a couple of weeks. But either way, to know that this person got taken off of this planet because of, wanting to do what they wanted to do, despite my advice, um, it made me kind of look at that person too, like, girl, like you don't know that people are crazy. You don't know that guys, when it comes to this experience, because they don't want to be open and upfront about it, you don't know how crazy people will turn for this trans experience. So you got to be very mindful about who you interact with. You got to be very mindful about who you give your time and energy to as a trans person. You're not like everybody else at all. In any way, shape, or form, you're not. Your energy is different. And so, like I said, it was a sad situation for me. And of course, I watched videos and people, stressing, even going on her Facebook, leaving, sad notes and stuff for her. And I'm just like, damn. And like I said, these are one of my experiences as spiritual advisor. My whole time as spiritual advisor, I've had 3 clients under my advisory be taken off this planet. And of course, 2 of them, one of them, it was their own doing. It had nothing to do with magic or any of that. And the other 2, I advised them and they basically said, fuck you. And they said, fuck you. And when they said, fuck you, I'm like, okay, baby, you gonna learn. And so that's how I was telling people, honey, take heed, honey. I'm not here to hurt you or any of that, baby. I'm here to give you advice. I'm here to help you. And that's that. Baby, I want people to win. That's what made me take on the role as a spiritual advisor. I wanted people to get rid of trauma and things that are stopping them from manifesting, being who they are meant to be or who they're going to be, and to actually live their life. Like, I plan to feed minds and plant seeds. And that's only been my mission. It's never been about anything else, right? Because, bitch, collectively, there's going to become a time where we're going to need each other. There's going to come a time. And if you didn't think that the pandemic was one of those times, just a little bit of it, it didn't give you a little insight of it, there's more to come. And so the idea that we're just like, I don't care, I don't have to, I can do what I okay. Well, don't ask about spiritual stuff then. If you want to do what you want to do, just do it. Yeah, just do it. You don't gotta ask. You don't gotta ask for nobody opinion. Just do it, babe. Okay. You don't owe nobody anything. But think about the decisions you make and how it's gonna affect other people. So yes, honey, a beautiful spirit, beautiful soul, uh, very, um, nice. And she was young. She was young too. I think I met her when she was 19. And I think she passed away when she was like 22, 23. Don't quote me, but very young. Okay. Yes, honey. Yes, you said it, CJ, and I let it go, but that was my thing. Like that's a really like 2021 to 2023, I found out things about myself that I never knew. I found out things about myself that I never knew in the sense of good things, right? So I definitely let it go, and I'm learning that I'm not responsible for other people. I'm not responsible for other people. People ask me for my opinion, I give them my opinion, and I'm not responsible for them. It's same thing with your children as parents. You're not responsible for them. You're their guardian, but you're not responsible for them once they're able to make their own decisions. And so, like I said, it was hard for me. I think I was seeing my therapist like 2 to 3 times a month for like 6 months because I just kept rethinking, reliving it, and just keep thinking about it, keep thinking about it, and what I could have done differently. And of course, that's the good thing about a therapist because they will run stories down to you. Like, but what happened if you could have talked her out of it? You think she would have listened? Oh well, I would have went down there to Houston. I would have flew down there. I would have flew down there and I would have, gave her the support that she needed. But what happened if she wasn't receptive to you coming down there or going down there? What you would have done? And I had to like think myself out of it. Like, well, you're right, because I couldn't force her even if I wanted to, if she really didn't want to listen. So, like I said, yeah, I definitely got over it, and I definitely, you know what I mean. I definitely like I said, learn that I'm not responsible for other people. Give them your energy and release it with a kiss. That's it. When you tell people something, don't hold that on them and say, well, I told you so. No. Say it and keep it pushing. Hey, I said it. You didn't, whatever. I don't got to tell you I told you so because you knew what it was. Okay? So yes, honey, don't beat yourself. The Lord works in a mysterious way. It gives me chills that she called for this word. Yes, and you know what? It could have even been 3 days before. It was very close. I can go look at the Facebook, because I'm still on her friends list, and yeah. So yeah, it was yeah. Like I said, that was crazy, honey. That was very crazy. And I knew her potential because I was like, she's young, she's investing in her transition, she is like trying to get her life together, she's into the I think she even started her spiritual business. Like she was, honey, she was ready. She was doing things I didn't do, girl. When I first started offering spiritual work for people, I was doing it online. And then I started doing work in person. She started doing her work in person. And that made me say, wow, girl, like you are doing your thing, sister. You are doing your thing. Amazing. Yes, honey. Now I think yeah, I'm gonna have to light something for her. I'm gonna have to light something for Edie's, honey. Edie's. Like the flower, honey. And that's I say too, and I'm really gonna be done, honey. I was supposed to be done probably an hour ago. I'm a believer. I don't play about spirituality. I don't play about spirit. I don't play about information. I don't think of it as, this is a way to make some money. I am a believer in the power of spirit. I've seen spirit move in my life. I've seen spirit move in other people's lives. I've seen people that were up against the grain. They had all odds against them, and they have made it through spirit. You can't say anything else. You can't say it's because they were a man. You can't say because they were a woman. You can't say any of that because they didn't have these advantages. They were put into positions as women that these positions were only for men. They were able to get endorsements and funding when they grew up with no motherfucking money. They didn't even know how to feed their kids. So I know that spirit is power. And as I said, I don't like when people play about spirit. And it's not about, well, you gotta let them learn. And okay, yeah, I'm minding my business. Because if spirit is showing you and you're not seeing it, you have to learn. What they say, a hard head makes a soft ass. You gotta bust that head wide open. And unfortunately, it's gonna be a sad thing where it's like, damn, yikes, yikes, yikes. Like, bam. It's unfortunate. Like, God, God, God. And so that's where I'm at with that. It's that, y'all, let May be about movement, money, motives, okay? Manifestation. Use the month of May. The full moon is on the first of the month, y'all. Use this month to manifest your desires and to make way for what is to come. Let people, places, and things learn their lessons because if you keep handing shit down, if you keep trying to interfere, they're never going to learn. Allow them to grow. You know, they say age is nothing but a number, and it's true. Let them mature in the way they need to mature. Let them be in the way they need to be. Okay? And so that's pretty much it, y'all. I need to go find this person to give them their reading session before I start my day. And yes, honey, did a little bit of cleaning. And of course, Anubis and Bella, they want to get walked. They're ready to get walk, 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 walk. And yeah, honey, I'm probably going to even marinate my chicken and stuff for dinner tonight. But yes, we'll definitely be talking. It was good seeing you, CJ, Hather 82 Skies, and of course, everybody else who entered. You Are Witched. And what is it, Franco? Something DeFranco? Frando DeFranco, something like that. I don't know. But anyway, bye for now, y'all. And you guys will see me again soon. Yes, I was supposed to be getting on live and doing something for y'all. But yesterday was so, girl. Oh, girl. Y'all, it was just so much going on. I was dealing with that. My friend telling me that story where I was just like, oh, girl. I need to focus. Man, I need to focus, girl. Like, I'll be sending emails, text messages, and maybe if I talk, you have like a good 30 minutes. That's it. But honey, I need to get on my shit, honey. I need to focus on my tea, honey. Cause girl, people are just trying to distract and prevent. Okay. So anyway, y'all, bye for now. Love you as well, CJ. Take care and God bless.